Okay, sorry about that. Hope you can hear me now. Thank you for mentioning the sound problem. Welcome to another Arias Wave live stream. Okay, so right now we're about to see some confirmation of the beginning of wave 3. Welcome, Exit here. ¿Qué pasa, hombre? Welcome, Corda. Welcome, Jose. Welcome, Luca. I'm great. Thank you, Chemistry. I am doing pretty good myself. Thank you very much. I am on the grind as always. I always say a lot. I do like to repeat myself. So to me, it's like, okay, let's just refine what I said before. How could I have made what I said before better in real time? So let's just do it all again. Done. So this is just the beginning. No problem there. We haven't seen the confirmation yet, which is good. So I started this off before we even had confirmation. So it's good that, you know, you guys pointed out that I had my mute on. So because I have a mute button on Zoom, and I also have a mute button, right, on my headset. So if that's on, then for some reason it doesn't correspond to Zoom. You know, technology only goes so far these days. Eventually it'll work seamlessly, but we can only use what we have. So basically, I don't know if you saw my quick update that I put on TradingView, and I did put my Twitter handle just then, just up the top there, just in case you don't get the early warning signals that there's a potential move in progress that we should be paying attention to, right? So as you know, we like to talk about many things, even if waves aren't crashing and making all these crazy moves, we still like to have a conversation and, you know, speak our minds. So here we are. Well, the markets are like a game, right? If you figure it out, you win. Simple as that. So welcome, Ecola. E. coli, you sound like a bacteria, but I bet you that's just your name, right? What does E stand for? Energy, energetic. There's many interpretations to E. Eminem, one of them. I'm just kidding, by the way. You know, I love you guys. You guys are the best. Here to make my day, and I'm here to make yours. Back in return, you get what you give. If you send out energy, you get it back, multiplied. Right? So quick recap on the big picture here. Let's share this screen, shall we? Okay, so at the moment, we know from experience that we are in a wave 4. We're in wave 5, right? I did put out the scenarios, the different scenarios before. But the reason why we're here now is because of what's happening at the moment, okay? So my latest count, if you didn't catch the TradingView idea, was that there was 2 possible scenarios, but we had to wait and see what this did. Did it break the white line? No, it didn't. And then I said, be patient. We need to see some more waves. And then I saw B, C, D, E. So now we have to break the D low, right? Which we're about to do in real time. Yes, you are catching a live wave 3 about to begin and drop like a sack of shit down the gurgler right to the buy zone, 27 cents. So you can buy, depending on your time zone, you can buy at 27 cents, or you can go a little bit below if you know how to count 5 waves down. So far, we've only seen 1, 2. So this is going to confirm wave 2 complete. Break of the magenta line will confirm wave 3 is in action. Right. So right now we're getting pretty close. So whilst we're getting close there, let's check out who's saying what and what's saying who. Jose, ¿qué pasa, hombre? Bacteria is all over the place lately. Apparently, people have to wear masks and stuff. That's just some crazy stuff going on there. Well, at least it's sunny where you are, right? Because in Melbourne, it's actually pretty cold. Actually, it's not as cold as it could be. It's actually going to get colder soon. We just entered winter, so still not a bad idea to put your jacket on if you want to go outside and that sort of thing. I am happy that you are becoming more famous. Oh, thank you. I should start putting on my glasses like Johnny Cage, and hit the trolls in the balls, like a Johnny Cage fatality. How's that for on the spot? Comedy relief whilst we wait for this confirmation. You guys are probably getting used to my type of humor now. Yeah, we just like to have fun and try and make some money, right? That's what it's all about, right? I'm not Steve Harvey, even though he's pretty funny, right? That guy has a lot of insight. He's not just a funny man. He's also pretty knowledgeable about life. So, mucha chaqueta, Mike. Yeah, it's a bit cold in here. I probably should put my shirt on in a minute. Once we have confirmation, I'll whack on my shirt and look all professional. That's probably important. David, welcome, David. Hola, hombre. How you doing? You're more like a Jim Carrey. Why is it funny? Yes, I wrote myself the $10 million check and put it in my wallet. And now it's unfolding before our very eyes. So let's see that happen first in slow motion. Replay. Actually, you can do that on YouTube. Just go back from my videos and put them on slow motion replay. You can do that, I believe. Well, my daughters do it all the time with all sorts of videos, and they just laugh their little butts off at all sorts of stuff. It's just little kids are crazy these days, and I love it. So basically, now it's time for the real stuff to begin. So if this count is correct, which I can see quite clearly that it looks pretty good, we are literally a few millicents away from seeing a break of that low. And I believe that when we hit that magenta line and break it, it might fiddle around that magenta line for a little while, say hello, introduce itself, maybe say, hey, I like your dotted line. I might slip through the crack and just fall down like a rock. So Apex Predator, I'm not too familiar with all the slang. I've heard quite a bit before. Now I'm just gonna have to look it up because you said that. So oh man, here we go. Oh, very funny. Very funny. Yeah, well, I'm not Mexican. That's a good start. I'm Australian, but my blood is pure Chilean. Both my parents are Chilean, so uh, you can throw all the slang you want at me, and I won't be bothered. Ah, man, you guys. David says, Mike, I'm on Coinbase Pro, but there's a strong support at 30 cents. Do you think we'll drop to 27 cents on Coinbase? Ah, okay. Let's look at the Coinbase chart. Oh shit. Now that was a mistake. Let me just go back on that one. Blah, blah, blah. Reload my chart. Come on, hurry up. Technical error. Press the wrong button. It's a technical problem. Yep. Today would be nice. Thank you. Okie dokie. What the hell just happened then? Ah, still loading. All right. Coinbase. Nah, same thing. Strong support at 30. 30. 30. Yeah, it's called a head and shoulders pattern. You'll break it. And also RSI, by the way, pay attention to this. This is actually going to be pretty cool. Have you ever seen RSI do this whilst the market crashes? Have you ever seen it do that? That's why RSI is dangerous, my friends. Dangerous. You should not rely on RSI. Okay. Realize that you should not rely on RSI. Very important. Now, I seem to be drawing funny little dots everywhere. I did not mean to do that. Let's go back to our usual chart. So we're still going. We're not there yet. So let's keep talking. Come on. Chilenos have different slang. I'll find one for you. Okay, you do that. They have many slang. When I went to Chile, I had to learn a few of them. So yeah, it was kind of like, can you tell me what that means? Oh, shit. My grandparents often explain a bit of slang, but they don't quite get the younger slang, the younger people slang. But yeah. Thank you, Apex Predator. Appreciate that. It's not just about 27 cents. It's not just about me. It's about getting the waves right, which will validate the program, which will make us money, which will keep us keeping on. Basically, we'll just continue these live streams forever, and we are just at the beginning here. We're just trying to accumulate a little bit of XLM. That's all. Why did I choose XLM? Because I looked at a lot of charts and I thought, you know what, we need to find the best one and focus on it. And if I'm right, then probably a few people might follow me, and we can grow this thing, right? Because I came from the good old days of Dow Jones and Euro analysis and cross pairs of fiat crap. I mean currency. And yeah, that was pretty boring. But once I come across cryptos and realize the potential, yeah, that was the game changer, and that's why I put out the bullish series on ariaswave.com, which also explains the backdrop to why we are seeing a lot of the stuff we're seeing in crypto. So everything's connected. Nothing's an accident. Nothing is by mistake. Everything's by design. Everything from the waves to the human pattern to the elites to the agendas to the narratives to the coronas to the 9/11s to everything. Nothing is an accident in this world. If you believe that, you might as well just go watch Magic Poop Cannon, because that guy, he would just keep extrapolating forever and ever. Amen. What do I do for a living? Okay, so I've been in IT since I was 16 years old. I taught myself how a computer works. I taught myself how to build them, how to fix them. I played around with them. I was curious. I used to go to swap meets with my cousin. We used to do all sorts of funky stuff with computers. If cryptos were around when we first started messing around with computers, we probably would have been miners. But unfortunately, the timing was a bit off. But yeah, I'm still in IT. My cousin moved on to be a tradesman. But I continued on down the path of least resistance, which is IT system admin, support admin, engineer, that type of thing. But I got too bored with it. It was too easy. So I decided to look into more complex issues that need to be solved. So I just looked at the markets like this is something that needs to be solved. So, and I kept throwing money at it, kept losing until, because I don't care about money. Money is just energy that can be thrown around. But you know what they say, right? Whatever you put, whatever you put out there comes back to you. Sometimes people think they lose money, but really it goes somewhere. Now, depending on your motivations and your faith, if you invest your energy in the right place, it'll come back to you tenfold. It'll multiply. So there's no point worrying about uh, losing money, because once you get the knowledge and you meet the right people and you're on the same frequency as a lot of good people, you start to learn how they, interact, how they behave, how they work, what they do. It's the good old saying, who are your five friends? Look at your five closest friends. You'll most likely become just like them. Now, I used to have a few friends and I had to get rid of them because they weren't part of my journey. So I decided to go lone wolf. I even went through, like I've mentioned before, a relationship breakdown during my journey into discovering the waves, because it consumed me, right? It consumed me to the point where I just couldn't keep my eyes off the charts. And eventually, something came out of it. I started to see something. I started to put the clues together, and we started to see a patterns and make sense of them. I recently showed one of my members one of my rare original interpretations of what I thought I was seeing. Probably meant nothing to him, but to me, it's personal to show that kind of stuff. And then basically, yeah, it just developed into what it is today. So the RSI does not tell you a bottom. The RSI is bullshit. Okay. It's designed to mess with your head. Okay. The RSI can keep twirling around the lows forever if it has to, right? The problem with the RSI is that you're looking at it based on a past perspective. Oh, look what happened in the past. But you know what? The past doesn't always continue to happen. All right. That's why we're living in the present. And that's why RSI is bullshit, because it's an indication of past waves, calculations of past waves, right? If you're going to look at a wave 3 now, the RSI is going to give you a completely different pattern than what you saw in the past. So what is the point of trying to use it? And by the way, we just hit that magenta line there, just like I told you we would. Live streamed break of the magenta line. Okay. And it wasn't just a little weakling wave. It actually just, it's still kind of like penetrating that little, that little gap, you could call it. If we pump a lot after the final dip, I definitely will buy the Arias Wave service and learn the waves. Well, you know what? That's already started for me. So it's kind of like you wake up in the morning and someone's pumped XLM into your wallet. It's like, whoa, sign up. Great. Let's register them. Let's process the, let's put them in a database. Let's do the paperwork. And it's like, it just keeps happening over. It's just getting more extreme now, right? Because people are seeing the truth here, right? People are seeing that, hey, this guy actually posts at the right time. He streams at the right time. He talks about the right stuff. He knows what he's talking about. He does it live. There's no script. I don't have a piece of paper here. Like literally my desk is just my iPods and a drink, right? Because I like to have that tasty beverage, just like Samuel L. Jackson loves tasty beverages. We all love tasty beverages, right? So yeah, I'm just gonna remove a layer right now because I'm feeling the heat of the red candle. That red candle starting to burn through that magenta line. Like it's just setting it on fire. So it had to reject it, right? Because anytime you go near any pink gap, sometimes you get rejected. We're talking about waves here, right? But then you can come back stronger than ever. It became an obsession. That's right. Mr. Ecola, Ecoli, yes. It became an obsession. And basically, I cannot give up. When I want to figure something out, I will not quit until I find it, even if my relationship breaks down, right? If they're not there to support me, they weren't the right person for me in the first place, right? That means something better is waiting around the corner for me. And you know what? I prefer that better thing that's coming than what I had. If I don't get the support I need, that's what I'm all about. Community support. Trolls can just go get trolled somewhere else when they try to put out their crappy little shitty ideas based on nothing. But I don't have time for that, right? So here we're just dealing with people who are interested in learning, right? That's what it's all about, because that's all I ever did. That's the only reason Arias Wave exists, is because I just wanted to learn. I wanted to figure it out, and I wanted to share it, right? 50% off until end of June, by the way, just so you, in case you don't know. But I mean, you can believe in whatever the hell you want to believe in, right? You can believe in RSI all you like. It just depends on, did you make any money? Does it make any sense? If you wake up tomorrow, does that make you feel great? Do you believe that you actually are onto something? Do you think this? Do you think that? I don't know what your thought process is. Come on. I don't even know half you people out here. I'm on top of kangaroo land. Yes, I'm down under on top of a kangaroo. Right now, if it's a big giant bullion silver kangaroo that you're talking about, hell yeah. Not one of those regular ones, because those guys are they can beat you up pretty bad. So you've got to watch out for them. Yeah, RSI, like I said to you, it's just a mathematical calculation of the past. It it doesn't actually give you anything that you can use to predict the future. Okay, Arias Wave does that, right? Because Arias Wave explains to you that we're in a massive fractal pattern, and within each and every single wave of that fractal pattern is the same pattern repeating over and over again, like the Mandelbrot set. Have you ever seen the Mandelbrot set? It's the same thing, right? Except the Mandelbrot set is not a sideways pattern. It is a complete 360-degree pattern, right? Prices cannot be 360 degrees. So the Mandelbrot set is it's just a mathematical calculation that goes infinity, right? It's a special code. And it's the same thing with Arias Wave, except we're dealing in a linear fashion. So it's the same thing, but in a linear fashion, not a 360-degree, because you can't go back in time and have a pattern for a price. I mean, that's absurdity, right? Obviously. 1K XLM, and I have your support. I don't know what you mean by that, but yeah, this community is always going to be close knit no matter what. So it doesn't matter where we go. Money is important, but what's the point of having money and living a lonely life, right? You wanna be around people who are like-minded, who have great personalities, who like the same thing you like, who like to crack a joke, don't take life too seriously. You know, of course you got to be serious at times when you need to learn, but then other times, why the hell be serious? Like with my kids, we literally spend most of the time carrying on like a bunch of kids, right? But then there's times when you have to be strict and you have to be serious, right? So the community is always going to be there. Like the money, like the 50% off is introduction, because I want to get people involved, right? After that, I'm just going to be making money anyway. So if you want to learn it, you're going to have to pay for it. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, I mean, I don't know how else to explain it really, right? Once you learn the pattern and you know the pattern, then you just got to be smart with your money, and that's it. That's why Arias Wave teaches you a little bit of money management, a bit of psychology. It teaches you the pattern itself. It tells you all the different variances. It's all about just learning, right? Because learning doesn't just mean the pattern. The pattern, once you get the pattern, it's going to blow your mind, right? Because you're going to start to think, and that's the part that's going to blow your mind. When you start to think, what is the implication of this pattern and how does it fit into everything? And once you read all the theory and all that sort of stuff, literally it'll paralyze you for days, because you'll be like, well, hang on a minute. It's literally like the Russian dolls, but it's so much more complex than um, just thinking in a very, logical way. Oh, the pattern is just a fractal pattern, or Elliott Wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the correction is ABC. Yeah, right, my friend. That's complete rubbish. Okay. Don't believe that garbage. Please do not believe in Elliott Wave. You will lose money hand over fist if you do it like I did when I first learned it back to front. I learned Elliott Wave back to front. Every single tiny rule, right? And I found that it was completely inaccurate. there are certain things that are true that I do incorporate, but you could say that about anything, like everything in life, right? You go around, you live this life, and you're not going to just go follow one person. You're going to take little pieces of information from all sorts of places, right? All sorts of people. And it's up to you to make your own way through this life using your own methodologies, whatever you want to do. I just simply took what I saw in the markets and created a program. It's as simple as that. And I have not proved it wrong. I have not been able to say, I've never looked at a wave and said that this does not fit Arias Wave. This is impossible. It's never happened, right? During almost 8 years of actually dealing with this pattern, right? So I don't give a shit what anyone says. This thing works. Look at this, it's going down, right? It's going down sharper. I mean, I gave the tweet back up when it was still around, maybe around 33 point something. And I go, yep, this is going to start dropping like a rock, right? And then when it breaks that magenta line, I retest it and fiddles around with it. I literally said that a few minutes ago. And then it's going to just get sharper and sharper and sharper, because that's just people don't know Elliott Wave. Not everybody knows Elliott Wave. Not everybody knows patterns. Not everybody knows this. Not everybody knows that. But you're going to get some people who are trading this as a head and shoulders pattern. So they're going to be selling the shit out of this, right? And then you've got the RSIs and the oscillators and the hype and the news, and there's all sorts of shit that goes through people's heads. And this is everything put together that create these waves. Arias Wave simply reads all of that crap and knows what you're thinking and knows what's coming next. It's like it's ahead of its time, because it reads everything that everyone else is reading, and then it reads that, and then it knows what's coming next. It's this weird thing that once you get it, it's super cool. Greg K, welcome. My only advice to you, my friend, is to stay in faith. Please stay in faith, be positive, and always understand that there's a higher power that's controlling everything, that's dictating everything that happens on this planet. And if you put the right energy out there, you will receive it back. And God bless your family. You need that support right now. But it's good to know that we have something out there that's controlling things and has a plan and is flexible, right? The universe is very flexible, right? It can bend to your will if you have the faith and you are consistent and persistent and determined. You can beat anything. No matter what it is, you can beat it. We are literally creators, each one of us, but the mainstream media is designed to basically turn us all and keep us all in sheep mode, right? Like the religious sayings, like, Lord, you are my shepherd. Does that mean I'm your sheep? No, I don't believe that. I don't want to be a part of that. But there is definitely something out there that is sending us what we put out. So put out good energy, and more than likely you will get more good energy coming back your way. Yes, chemistry, we are very early on XLM, and that's why we're going to make big bucks. So I'm glad I found it, and that's why I decided to dedicate most of my work towards it, because I believe that we are heading for that top in a big way before the Great Reset happens. And we need to make sure we understand what stable coins are. USDC is probably going to be the best choice. In fact, USDC, I think it's based on Stellar. So Stellar, I think USDC runs on Stellar, the Stellar network. There's so much good things about Stellar, but let's not get too carried away with the use case at the moment, because we're still in a bear market, and it's all about speculation. So we're here to ride out, get the profits, and then later on, when you really want to use your use case utilities and your, whatever it is that you believe in, then that's the time that you should invest in what you truly believe and hold on for dear life. Be a hodler. But during bear market rallies, being a hodler is kind of stupid, because markets go up, markets go down. You can just lose it all, right? Like I keep saying, a lot of people made money in 2017. And those same people, a lot of them lost them all, lost all their profits. So what the hell is the point of that? I'm here so that doesn't happen to you. That's the whole point of Arias Wave. That's how my mind works. Why buy something if you don't know when to sell it? It's as simple as that. Ask yourself that question. Whatever it is that you're doing now, whatever strategy you're using, ask yourself one question. If I buy this now, how do I know when to get out? If you don't know the answer to that, you need to really check yourself, okay? Because that's important. How you doing, Evan? Good to see you. Yes, we'll catch up definitely. Yeah, look, we can always make a time when it suits. After the live stream, send me a message, or we'll see where we're at. But yeah, sometime soon, definitely. Michelle, welcome, Michelle. Romero. Faith is the substance of things we hope for, to be certain of the things we cannot see. That is amazing. Amazing stuff right there. That is the truth. That is exactly what faith is all about. You cannot reap if you don't sow, right? So if you're living like Steve Harvey says, right? If you ask for something from the universe, right? And you're living on Hope Street, right? Don't worry, that package is coming for you, but you got to stay in faith, right? But if you suddenly have doubts and you start moving into, oh, this is never going to happen avenue, then that package will arrive to where Hope Street where it was meant to go. But then, just like what happens with most packages, if there's no one there to receive it, it'll go back to the sender. So that's the problem with people, is they don't keep the faith, right? And especially traders, because they don't know what they're doing. They don't have the faith in what they're doing, right? It goes back to what I was saying before, right? Ask yourself that question. If I buy something, do I know when to sell it? Right? Do I have the faith? Do you understand what I'm saying? It's all linked together. It's all about your mind. Your mind is the one that controls your whole life, right? Every decision you make leads to an outcome. And if you make a series of good decisions, it'll lead to a series of good outcomes. If you make a few mistakes along the way, don't worry. That's normal. We all go through that, right? But the thing is to stay in faith. And if you start to, you know, find the right tools, find the right people, and then start believing in what you're doing, you get the good vibes, then you go for it. Otherwise, don't even bother, right? Just wander down to the next local, channel and spend some time watching them. But the thing is, right, I'm only here talking to you live because I had a technical glitch where TradingView wouldn't post my videos to YouTube, right? And therefore I had to start posting on both because I still wanted the YouTube videos to be there, but they weren't uploading. So I took that as a sign from the universe to start showing myself on the camera, right? To start putting out these videos so that people can see who I am. So did I go against that? No, I go with the flow. Don't ever go against the grain because you'll lose. So therefore, that's why you see me now is because of a technical glitch, which prevented my videos from transporting over here. And I'm thankful for it. I reckon I'm just going to keep it this way. I'm just going to keep bringing the live streams. I'll do the quick updates on TradingView if you want to check them out, but I'll keep the long videos and you can get to talk to me and we can talk about whatever you want. Nice one, Felix. Yes, I do believe most people will miss XLM, and that's because they don't know the waves. Basically, that's one of the main reasons. A lot of people will buy coins that they see on TV, in the news. Their friends are talking about it, but percentage-wise, I believe XLM will kill everything, right? Percentage-wise, and it's all about percentage-wise, and also knowing when to buy, right? You'll get more percentage out of buying at the right time compared to, buying the right coin at the wrong time. So my goal here is to get us to 27 cents as a minimum to buy. Not only will that confirm the pattern, right? Because I don't want to be trading if I have an incomplete pattern, which means I don't have confidence in the pattern. So how can I trade something I don't have confidence in? I can't have faith in that, right? So I have to see the low broken. That'll bring the faith, and then we'll track the waves as we go. Pi. Oh yeah, I mine Pi. Yeah, I have this little, I mine Pi and B, right? On iOS, you can download the B app, right? Actually, if you download the B app, you can use my invite code. And I tell you what my invite code is: XRP collector, all one word. XRP collector, right? And you can mine B, right? Which is, like a b.com, but you can download the app. And my actual invite code is XRP collector, right? So I do like XRP, but it's not the right time yet. So we're going to get there. And once we do, I'm going to buy XRP and XLM and some other choice coins, which I will talk about at a later time. But yeah, B is a project which is basically a crypto, which will turn eventually into a tradable coin, but you can mine it for free on the iOS app. You just got to do it daily. So if you forget to mine, if you forget to press the mine button after 24 hours, well, you just miss out on mining coins. But it doesn't actually, use phone processor, it's just confirmation that, you actually are a real person, and it's all based on time. So, you know, if you might, the more people that you have in your network, it's supposed to build strength in the network. And it's the same as, I think it's the same as pi. And I think my pi invitation code is also XRP collector, all one word. Yeah, just a little fun fact there. At the moment, pi and B are still very early stage, in very early stages. So I suppose let's just keep an eye on it. At the moment, to me, it's just like playing a game. I'd rather I'd rather keep mining my B and pi rather than play like Angry Birds or Casino Slot or whatever else people play these days. I don't play games. I do play like Mario games with my kids on Switch because they're fun, and the kids love it and we have fun together. But apart from that, I spend most of the time looking at charts, as you probably have worked out by now. So Ecola, I do have a Telegram channel. It's called Arias Wave. If you want to add people, if you want to invite people to Arias Wave Telegram channel, you can. But I already talked to a lot of my members on Telegram. So it's just called Arias Wave. So you can find me on Telegram. It's actually a easy way for me to communicate with people in a safe way, and also it's good for initiating like Zoom meetings, especially if you're a member. Um, Initiating like just conversation around the waves. Like if you have a quick question that you don't need a Zoom meeting, you just want to ask a question like, what do you think on this? What do you think on that? Like I will just answer you. Like I said to you, my background is in IT. To me, I use the phone is like an extension of me. So there's no, I don't get overwhelmed by anything relating to technology, as I've just been in the game for so long. So Stellar Consensus Protocol. That's right. We have a consensus protocol, and that's why it's better than Bitcoin. That's why it's climate friendly, because it doesn't need all that electricity wasted on these trying to prove these blockchain and solve these mathematical equations, right? XLM is a ledger. It's not a blockchain. So even though it's not a blockchain, doesn't mean it's not a crypto, right? At the end of the day, we need to be smart with the technology we use as humans, right? So we can't just go around just wasting valuable resources. Eventually, people will catch on to that. But for now, people are just too caught up in the hype. Uh, you know, Eventually the hype dies down. Eventually, right now, like I think Bitcoin's topping, most people will probably be thinking we should buy Bitcoin. We should save Bitcoin, because in the news, it says most people think Bitcoin is a good way to get a house. Oh man, I saw that. I'm like, yeah, that's a damn top, right? Did I see any article on XLM? No, buy XLM, right? The more it's back to the shoe shine boy theory, right? If the most people are into it, get out. It's like the Warren Buffett thing, right? When people are greedy, be fearful. When people are fearful, be greedy. Same thing. McCaleb, yes, Jed McCaleb. Yes, I follow him very closely. I like the fact that he created eDonkey, right? So back in the 90s, we had Napster, and also there was eDonkey. It wasn't as big as Napster, but it still was, usable. You could basically pirate the hell out of anything you wanted to download at the time. MP3s were a big thing back then, music. Obviously, Apple changed the music landscape, but eDonkey was a file sharing, platform. He also founded Mt. Gox, and he sold it before the whole hack thing happened. So I don't really think there's any reason to think that he's dodgy, because that happened after he sold it to somebody else. And then he co-founded Ripple, right? Whatever this guy does, this guy's smart, right? So if he left Ripple, the way that I see it is that they just basically they didn't align with their ideas. So he went and created XLM. But I do have faith in both. I just think that they just weren't aligning. It doesn't mean that that XLM is better than Ripple. No, I wouldn't go that far, because I do like the people who like, I like David Schwartz. Brad Garlinghouse seems like your typical CEO. It's just the people. You got to listen to the people, listen to the interviews, listen to what they say. Do they sound like people who know what they're talking about, or do they sound like people who are just trying to uh, make themselves look good, right? So you got to watch the body language channels, right? Watch videos. I can't remember. There's a couple of good ones out there, right? Who read body language, right? You could literally they'll take a video of like Dick Cheney or Bush, right, during the 9/11 stuff, and they'll watch the interviews and they'll comment on their body language, and it'll literally give away what's really happening, what they were really like, what their body language is telling you compared to what they're saying, right? So you got to be really, really good at understanding people's body language and how they speak, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. It's a really cool subject. You should get into that. It'll help you determine who's full of BS and who actually is talking like they really believe what they're talking about, right? Because some people just they just literally talk out their butthole, right? And they don't sound convincing at all, right? You might get some people who are complete experts at that, but there's a whole bunch of ways to know the truth, right? Just by looking at someone and how they speak, or how they act, or how they stand, or how they just there's just so much, right? Exit here. That's a good question with the vaccines. This is something I talk a lot about with certain people. I do believe that I do believe at the moment that there's potentially two scenarios that's going to play out here, right? Now, let's just keep in mind that a lot of these vaccines, they're not FDA approved vaccines. So technically, they're not really safe for people to take, but they still enforce it, right? So to me, it's either two things, right? One, it's an agenda, because like 9/11, they needed 9/11 and the dot-com bust to then print more money to create the D wave that happened before the GFC, right? Problem, reaction, solution, right? The same thing is going on now. with the repo market, which basically fell apart in 2018 or something. And they had to inject trillions of dollars into that. And then shortly later, Corona happened, right? So it's kind of like if you go back to the 9/11 days, right, where when 9/11 actually happened, the day before 9/11 happened, I think there was the Pentagon released a statement saying that they had lost literally like billions of dollars had just vanished into thin air, right? So that's some pretty serious stuff, right? But then came along this sudden, terrorist attack, and suddenly that people just don't care about the money thing anymore. It's all about the human thing, right? So to me, it's kind of like the patterns repeat themselves in a way where the people in control, they're literally like puppet masters, right? So the repo market broke for a reason, and that's because what they've done with interest rates, right? With the bond market. So that's why you have a lot of stimulus pumping up the bond market, right? So what's that doing to the fiat currencies, right? It's destroying them because they can't keep pumping this thing up without consequences. So they try every single trick in the book to keep this thing going, including creating pandemics, right? False narratives, just like 9/11, right? To basically create an excuse to give to the public, oh, this is why we need to print more money. Otherwise, the whole economy will collapse, except they were the ones who created the problem in the first place, right? And this stems back years and years and years, right? You can go back through the history. We could have hours of conversations about this, right? So interestingly enough, the C wave that happened in 2020 was the Corona C wave. C for Corona. Weird, right? The D wave that we're currently seeing now is the reaction. It's where all the stimulus, the low interest rates, the pumping up of the markets, it takes us all the way to where we're going. We're just trying to catch that ride up. But be warned, you need to know the waves so then you know when to get out of what's coming, because what's coming is going to be like the GFC, and it's going to basically reset. That's what I believe is going to be the great reset that's coming, right? So we just need to be aware of that. And that's why I put out the bullish series, so you could sort of understand how it all fits together. So do I think that cryptos, will they use cryptos in, as a way to freeze your assets? I think that's a little bit too out there at the moment, because you could move cryptos to different wallets, right? So technically you could move your crypto to any wallet, and who's going to get that wallet? You have control of that wallet, right? So what are they going to freeze exactly, right? That's why you're basically becoming your own bank, right? So if you make a few $1 million off cryptos, millions of dollars of cryptos over the next 10 years, right? You're literally becoming your own bank, right? Especially with all the different things that you can do with crypto, like staking and loans and interest rates and everything, whatever. This is like what the financial system should be like, rather than what they're doing, right? So they literally spawned this revolution or evolution because they introduced us to cryptos, because I believe that they were the ones who created it because they want to stay in control. So in order for them to stay in control, they need to keep the system going in a way that they don't lose control, right? So obviously it's starting to fail, as we saw with the repo market disaster, and then followed by, like coincidentally, Corona happened right after that, which is not highly suspicious at all, right? But then now we're heading for another disaster, but they know that. They're way ahead of us. So I believe cryptos is made for the people, and only the smart people will be involved. The middle class will be abolished. The poor will get poorer. So we just need to be a part of that system where we are taking advantage as much as possible, just in case there is no backup, just in case there is a collapse, which I do believe is going to happen. And then what are we going to have left to barter with, right? What are you going to try and hoard some silver and gold? I mean, that can be unsafe. I don't know. This is a thought process. Think about it, right? Think about it. I definitely think consensus is the way to go. Proof of work is, while you've got the 51% potential of a 51% attack, that means that leaves the door open for somebody who has a lot of power to potentially disrupt that network and change the rules. Okay, so there's already a problem there with proof of work. Consensus is more, it sounds like a more climate friendly, like it just sounds like a more friendly approach to a simple solution. Sorry, to a simple solution to a problem which we need, right? Exactly. So exit here says they needed 9/11 for anti-terrorist laws. You know, it's basically it was the beginning of what is now being allowed, right? They basically, it's like introducing Bitcoin so that they can get you used to it. So then when they bring out the CBDCs, central bank digital currency, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's just like a crypto, right? Yeah, sure, that's fine. No problem in that, except with the CBDC, they can track your every move and you have no freedom. You have no rights, you have no privacy. Okay, yeah, I suppose I could live with that. Maybe. That's right. All the agendas throughout history, they were all pre-planned. People have been planning and scheming for many, many, many centuries, right? Why do you think they're so powerful right now? Because what they're doing is working, right? But don't let it affect you. Don't get worried about it. Just you do what you can do for you, right? You can't control what's happening. It was meant to be, right? There's always going to be good versus evil, all that crap, right? But you're not a part of that. You are just looking out for you. So you just do what you think's best for you and just forget about the rest. The rest doesn't matter, right? You know, when you walk out into the street, do you worry about the whole world constantly? No. You just worry about what you're doing and you'll be fine, right? Mix with the right people, get with the right community, right? And you'll find your way. In fact, you'll have a great time because you'll be mixing with like-minded people who think the way you do. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do here, right? That's why I think this was meant to be. This was meant to happen, right? Let's all just gather around, figure out the waves, make money, and then we can celebrate later, right? There'll be plenty of times for celebration, but first we need to educate ourselves on why. So the waves can tell you why and how, but then you have to also learn about the psychology, not talking about training psychology, but what is the collective psychology, like the people in power versus the reaction from the people who are basically the sheep, right? We need to draw a line here, right? Where do we want to be in that? Is there just two sides or is there many sides, right? I reckon there's many sides. I reckon you could be a sheep, you could be in power, you could be your own bank, you could be your own boss. There's not good and bad only. That's just a limitation, right? You can do whatever you want. And that's why we have Arias Wave, because I open your mind to possibilities. I'll give you some ideas. If you like my ideas, you take them, you think about them. Maybe you listen to other people who have other ideas, and then you mix them together and you come up with your own ideas, right? We're not robots. I'm not programming you. I'm just sharing my thoughts, right? And I'm also sharing my program based on what I believe is to be the accurate interpretation of how waves operate at a granular level. So from what you hear me talk about, it hopefully gives you insight into how deep I think about things, right? Using a logical process of elimination, right? So yeah, I can be wrong. We're human, right? I'm not a robot. So I just ask you to take, I ask you to use your own logic as well, right? Don't just follow somebody blindly. I'm just some guy on the internet after all, right? I ask you to observe people's behavior, people's body language, uh, look up your own information, do your research, listen to the right people, and you will start to build a picture of what's really going on in the world. And then it'll help you purge those that are not helping you get where you want to go. Because there are a lot of people in this world that bring you down. And you want to get rid of those people because they're not going to help you in the long run, right? Unfortunately, my relationship broke down whilst I was trying to create Arias Wave. Okay, so be it, right? I bet you someone 10 times better around the corner is waiting, who is like-minded and who wants to join me in this exciting thing that we're doing here, right? Not be part of this circus that's going on right now, or as Greg Manarino calls it, the freak show, right? Who cares about that, right? Let's just try to make money, have fun, have these cool conversations, and we can continue these chats. Good point, Felix. You can purchase digital ownership of gold or silver. A lot of things will be tokenized in the future, which is pretty cool as well. So keep that in mind. I believe they will even tokenize houses and real estate and all sorts of stuff in the future, which is why I believe what we're doing here, right? We're trying to get out of the system, right? We're not trying to make XLM and cash it back into fiat, right? We want to grow with the system if you can, right? And then wherever that leads us will lead us to the new world, right? The new normal reality of technology that we live in, not the new normal they're trying to push on us like this bullshit. I'm not going to say any more than that. But like the world has changed dramatically since 1995. Internet compared to 2005 internet, compared to 2015 internet, and compared to what 2025 internet's going to be like. You know, they're gonna literally digitize everything. So if you are part of a system where you have value and money and worth in the system, then you're going to use that system, and you're going to bypass the old system, right? This is my hope. And you're just going to get everything directly the way you're meant to be able to get it, rather than going for the conventional rubbish that they're putting out there, because they're literally steamrolling your life away. They tax you when you get paid. They print money. Okay, so why do they print money and tax me at the same time when printing money is literally taxing me? It's taxing my life. But then they don't stop there. They go ahead and they GST. Here in Australia, they have goods and services tax, 10%. So when you go buy groceries, that's 10% on top of your expense of the whatever food you're paying for. You got to pay extra 10%. Tobacco, alcohol, they keep increasing the tax, right? Everything is taxed a million times, and the fiat currency keeps losing its value. So why would you want to live in a world where they're robbing you blind, and then they're trying to convince you that they're helping you by stimulating the economy, right? By giving JobKeeper and all these other stimmy checks or whatever, depending where you live, right? Basic universal income, all that sort of stuff, right? Why would you want to live in that world? Why don't we just make our own world? Which is why I think cryptos is the future of everything, because everything will eventually become decentralized, not controlled by the fucking Fed, right? Not controlled by any of these central banks, right? Which are like, to me, in my mind, they're like Independence Day fucking UFOs hovering around every country, trying to suck the fucking life out of us, right? Remember that movie Independence Day and those big fucking things around each country? That's what central banks are in my mind. They suck the shit out of everything, right? And they try to make it look like they're trying to help, right? These people make me sick, right? So I've been thinking about this for a long time, right? And that's why I'm here to help, to get us out of this crap. Because just think about what's going to happen if you have children. What kind of freaking world is your children going to be living in if this stuff continues what they're doing? Hell no. Hell no. I do not want to see that shit for my children. So excuse me for the examples there, but you know, I got to give them out. I got to tell you my thoughts. That's why we're here. Michael Mayer, do you ever sleep? I try to get some sleep, right? But yeah, hopefully soon I can cut it down, because the more you sleep, the more time you're wasting sleeping. So good to see you, Michael, one of my latest members there, joining us for a quick comment there. Wow, David. Yeah, 21%, man. You see what they're doing? That's robbery. That's literally robbery. Not only do they print the money, devalue it, but they charge you tax after tax after tax. So really your wage isn't even your wage, right? Your wage is like it's like an illusion. It's like the Matrix, right? And on top of it, right? And on top of it, like they're printing the shit out of it, right? And on top of it, they're not even lifting. A lot of places are not even increasing wages anymore based on inflation, right? Why do you think they keep lying about inflation? Because inflation is growing so fast, right? That they just prefer not to increase your pay because if somehow the truth came out about inflation, mate, they're gonna have to pick up those wages pretty big, right? They're gonna have to lift them up a big time. So in terms of inflation, I was researching the CPI because in Australia they call it CPI, the Consumer Price Index, and I tried to apply Arias Wave to that, and I could literally see inflation going to like 25% over the next few years, and that was just like the chart wasn't very clear, but from what I could make out from the waves, inflation is going to go through the freaking roof over the coming years, right? So they try to keep the inflation numbers low. Why? Because if they tell you what the true inflation is, what's that going to do to companies? It's going to wreck them because they're going to have to pay the employees more, and it's going to lift the prices of everything, and that's coming anyway. It's inevitable, right? You wait until you see what happens after this crash to inflation. Inflation is the whole reason why this whole system is going in an upward trajectory, right? It's because you can't trust humans. You can't trust them. They're always going to print money. They're always going to try and get something for nothing. And it's going to cost the populace at large. They're going to end up suffering in the end. So at the moment, it's a damn joke. Yeah. Oh, and not to mention, if you have superannuation or 401k or whatever kind of saving for the future, right? With what's coming very soon in the markets to wipe out the markets, what the hell's going to happen to that money, right? Which they also claim to pay you on top of your wage. That's going to get wiped out, just like it did for most people during the corona crash, right? They're only just breaking even and then wait until this next thing happens. What the hell's going to happen then? I mean, it's just mind boggling. Like, you really got to learn the waves, get your head straight, understand what you're dealing with, and then just take action. Because seriously, if you don't take action, your future is not going to be rosy at all. I'm telling you now, it is going to be a shitstorm. Listen to Gregory Mannarino, listen to Mike Maloney, listen to Milton Friedman, right? Listen to people who actually know what they're talking about, because they already know what's coming, right? Um, and believe me, this ain't pretty, right? Edge of Wonder got banned off YouTube. They were spitting some truth there. Got banned, removed, but you could still go to see them at edgeofwonder.tv. They're still around. But a lot of the stuff has been removed though. A lot of the original content that they did have on YouTube, it's not there anymore. I don't know what's going on, but they're seriously inflicting harm on the truth. They don't want people to know certain things. It's a shit show, man. So quietly learn the waves, quietly do what you're meant to do, be one of the survivors, right? And then just watch what plays out over the next 10 years, man. Because I'm telling you, it's going to look good on the chart, but most people won't be a part of it. So that's the sad fact. And that's what bothers me the most. And that's why I'm dedicated to the craft and I'm never going to stop. Yes, Felix. Basically, yes, you're right. It is going to go up again. Everything's going to go up again. The only thing that's going to cause this crash is the final move up in the US dollar, right? Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen next week, right? It might take a few months to happen, right? Maybe like 6 months, could take a year. I don't have a crystal ball. That's what I keep telling people. Don't ask me about time frames, right? But the patterns say that the A wave that started in 2008 will end with the US dollar making a final high, and that's going to coincide with the E wave down in the Dow Jones. Going to crash the shit out of it. It's going to crash the shit out of everything: cryptos, precious metals, uh, global markets, oil, everything. Right, and that'll be it for the US dollar. From that point on, it's it's dead meat. It's literally going to go down, and everything is going to pump after that. So that's why I did the bullish series, because I wanted people to see how the US dollar is the reason why this next crash is coming, right? You have to watch it, right? To me, if I could make a bloody movie out of it, I would, but I don't have that production capacity just yet. But one day, I swear to God, the stuff that I think about, I could make a movie out of this stuff, right? Like, you saw The Big Short, right? Michael Burry's also calling the same thing, right? But the problem with Michael Burry is he's more of a value investor. So he might be right, but timing probably not that great, right? Value investors have a different approach. In fact, value investors look down on people who try to interpret the waves. So I like the guy, but I think he might be a bit early this time. He was early in The Big Short. It took him ages. He had to keep uh yeah, delaying. He even told his customers or his investors to, sorry, you can't take your money out. Why did he do that? Because it was taking a long time for his predictions to come true, right? But value investors in general tend to look down on people who look at waves, but they've never seen an Arias wave. So I'm not gonna shame them. They it's the 4 stages of competence. They just don't know what they don't know. Michael, I'm flexible on most days. This week is a good week for me because I'm working from home. So just try to pick a time during the day, my time, that's not too late or too early for you, and we'll get it done. Don't worry about it. And plus, you can message me as well. We can have that conversation. Um, yeah, that's right. And that's what Felix, yes. So the rise of the dollar, yeah. So at the moment, everybody is really bearish the US dollar. So if you take that as a sentiment, a sentimental gauge, then that gives you all the clues on its own. But the waves themselves point out that yes, there is one massive move coming left. It's going to be similar to exactly what, actually, it's going to be very similar to what happened in 2008 when the Dow Jones crashed in the GFC and the US dollar went up, right? That was the A wave. The rest of it was up until now E for B, and then C wave's coming. So the C wave hasn't come yet. The same way that we haven't seen the C wave for XLM, except XLM is going to create its C wave first, and that's when the USD will bottom. When the USD actually bottoms, I believe XLM would have topped, and that's when you should get the hell out, put it to USDC because USD is going up. So you're going to make money anyway, because even if you have it in a stable coin, US dollar is going to go up in value. And then when you want to, and then when we finally complete that pattern and the USD is about to top, then you start reinvesting your profits into the coins which have completely crumbled. And then we're going to see the biggest bull run in history. That's what I believe. So that's why I encourage you to get into this now. End of June, you're paying $4.99 USD in XLM for now. After, you're going to have to pay $9.99 in XLM. So it's up to you, totally up to you. But the thing is, you get access to me. You literally get to talk to me live. I'll answer your messages as long as I'm awake. I'll answer them. And I don't know what else to say about that. That's all I can say about that. Oh, hell yeah, Michelle. That's a good one. Yeah, we are making history. And the thing is, a lot of people aren't a part of it. So, and that's what usually happens. The crowd is usually wrong. So remember I told you here, we're looking at this chart here. I said we're going to fiddle around this area, but we still broke it though. So it's because RSI got oversold. So if you look at the RSI, I bet you that it's gone up. Yeah, see? It's going up. It's going to go up a little bit more, but the price action won't go up much. And then it'll just smash down. So that's why I don't rely too much on RSI, because the market tends to just pause as it it starts to go back into negative territory on the RSI, and then it gets ready to smash down. So we'll be looking at a pretty interesting move coming soon. Hell yeah, let's do this, Michael. Corda says, what do I think about TD sequential indicator? I have no idea what that is. I'm sorry. I'm not really big on indicators because, yeah, look, I do want to get interested in some people's ideas on some indicators. Like I know Michael had one which looked like a Mario game to me, but it looked pretty cool. I'm sure there's interesting code behind it. But if you guys have any ideas to send me, you can always email me, or my email's yeah, I'll put it here so you can see it. Or my Twitter, if you want to catch some live streams earlier instead of missing them. Right. It's Arias Wave Mentor. So if you guys want to share stuff, you want to talk, if you want to talk about the course, you want to have a meeting, whatever, there's so much to talk about. We can't put it all into one because there's just too much to talk about. So anyway, you guys, this has been a pretty long and fulfilling episode of Arias Wave XLM update, and I can see a pattern in the concurrent viewers. Like I actually apply the Arias Wave pattern even to the chart of the concurrent viewers, and it actually, like, I can actually make sense of these waves sometimes, and sometimes I think like we're hitting a top of the amount of viewers we're going to get for the session. Like my mind is just like constantly waves, but yeah. I just thought I'd mention that because it's funny. But thanks for your time, guys. We'll be in touch, and hopefully I can start putting out some more updates soon. We just need to hit that 27 cents before I start discussing the broader picture, because I want to start going back and refining the bullish series again and giving a solid update on all of those videos starting from the beginning. So we can basically create the bullish series 2.0. But this time we're going to be in the game. We're going to have skin in the game. We're going to be on our way up XLM, and we're going to have a plan for this. So whether or not you're involved in the program, you're still going to come along for the journey. But if you really want to know how it works, that's entirely up to you. Right. So thank you for joining, and I hope to talk to you soon. See you guys.